Back in April of 2020, I was contacted by a friend to look into some irregular financial operations with their convention, because that's what I do. I look into stuff. I like to play detective, although I believe I'm more of a Rain man. One man handled the money and the refunds for the con I was investigating. One man named Nitro, then and the president of Capital City Furcon. Originally, I did actually go through a lot of the evidence against him for said con, but I ended up quitting the project because the evidence and the background became too distressing to further go into it, and it seemed to be the end of the line for me there. Then this case got blown wide open. So let's investigate. Once I began my research on this, I reached out to a Twitter user who had been commenting on the situation through Twitter. I shot them a message, then I got a very helpful response. Hey there! Most of what I know about Capital City Furcon is relatively public knowledge, and even then I don't know anything exclusively. I work for cons, but not this con specifically, but news spreads quick between Furcons. If you haven't already, I think that blank may have more information, actually, since they were the artist on staff. Also, I'd recommend connecting with their guests of honour. I spoke with one during the convention weekend, and I can tell you that they were offered a free room and I believe flights, did not get compensated. Zusho Wolf is also a deaf furry, and that was not provided an interpreter or any other method of communication, which is an ADA violation. Just a tip for you, there's a lot of shit with Capital City Furcon, but I definitely don't think I should be the one to speak on it, since I'm just a bystander. Also, one last tip. Ask any Capital City Furcon staff about how they pay their venue and how it almost went under on the weekend of the con. And this brings me to my first part. We're taking a look at two cases today. The first case of Zusho Wolf. If you didn't know Zusho, he is a ball of positive vibes who, despite his disability, has made amazing videos using sign language and subtitles. See, Zusho is deaf and needs an interpreter when visiting cons, especially if he is doing panels or guest of honour slots. Zusho is protected under the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990, but in specific the update to the Act in 2010 titled Effective Communication. These rules and guidelines ensure that people like Zusho who are deaf or visually impaired can communicate effectively with people they are speaking with. Zusho wasn't provided an interpreter at Capital City Furcon, while Nitro offered free flights and free rooms to guests of honour. He completely forgot one of the biggest things about one of his guests of honour, that one of them actually has a disability. But because of this, it's a complete violation of the ADA regulation. This also opens up Nitro and parent company up to a lawsuit if Zusho or anyone associated wish to do so. I don't know if you get any money from it, but hey, it's worth a try. Another case is Safi. Safi was on the board for Furlandia. Safi noticed that on the board there was a person who would constantly say the most edgy and offensive things, and when called out about this, Nitro sent an email to Furlandia and a parent company attempting to oust Safi from their job. The parent company basically replied, haha, fuck off, and Nitro had a shit fit. This shows how malicious Nitro is in my eyes, that he'd want to oust someone from their job simply for pointing out faults within your own planning board that could lead to future complications. I attempted to speak to some of the guests of honour for this con, but none truly wished to give their statement or even have a shred of involvement with it. I wouldn't blame either of them with this how furry Twitter works. If you're within 300 miles a radius of any sort of drama, you are automatically involved in said drama. Two people I asked were previously announced as guests of honours who jumped ship before the con actually happened and were happy enough to give me a lot, and I mean a lot, of information on this. Nitro began his contract with this person through Facebook and constantly responded with hi, attempting to get their attention. How professional. The guest of honour was told that him and his boyfriend would be reimbursed with their flights out to the con, and here's the best part. The person found me their old contracts as guests of honour, so I think we should take a read together, shall we? Welcome, guests of honour, to Capital City Furcon. Welcome to Capital City Furcon. I wanted you to take the time and go over the expiations of being a guest of honour at our convention. As a guest of honour, we expect a few things from you to do. A panel, a meet and greet. Be able to help around the con where help is needed. Have fun. Be you. Make memories. If you have any other ideas on what to propose, we are pretty open for new things, and as a guest of honour at a convention, it is a big honour for you to be one. At the same time, the guest of honour want to give back to the con, and that comes in many different forms, like donating a fursuit, donating money, etc. to the charity auction, Capital City Furcon is honoured to have you as a guest and will do anything in our power to make your experience something sweet that you will never forget. Also, we'll do our best to fulfill your needs to get to the convention or anything else you will need from the staff. If you plan on doing something in the charity auction, please let the chairman know. Also, there will be a guest of honour dinner, so we need to know of any food allergies, and then 2 sign here markers. Firstly, as a friend of mine, and even the person who sent me this were telling me, you need to have listed on the contract at all times two expectations: what the guests of honour can expect, meaning what the con will actually give to the guest of honour to make it seem enticing, and what the con can expect from the guest of honour. This unfortunately is not stated here, as it is simply what the con wants from you, even though it barely says anything of what you will get back. After seeing all of this, the 2 people declined being guests of honours, as contracts should have been what both parties expect from each other, and simply what the con wanted from them was what they got. Cons should be a vacation for furries. Instead of one of the expectations is help where help is needed. Ah, right, Zoo Show. You there. We know you're a guest of honour, but go lift those heavy boxes into the other room real quick. Please and thank you. As I said before, they declined, but then later went to a local convention where they had a CCFC representative literally asking people and handing out guests of honour roles to people. This person also told another quite large fursuiter not to attend and not to take the guest of honour position, but not before confronting Nitro about this. Let's have a read, shall we? We have a lot going on around that time of year already, and I'll be honest with you, the way you were all going on about the guest of honour is very unprofessional. From my end, all I see in here is like people are handing out guest of honour slots at the con like it's nothing special. I know about 5 to 6 confirmed and like 6 plus more who were invited. Feels like we're not anything special. Plus the contract should be more specific and professional than have fun. I'm not trying to be angry or hate on anything, I'm just uncomfortable. I've never been to Pennsylvania and it's quite a stretch to go out for a con like this out of the blue when I'm uncomfortable like this. Feels like you're paying for attendees instead of guests of honour, if that makes sense. I really hope it goes well and really hope we can make it to the future, but I can't really say I'm feeling 2020 as it looks. There was a guy at BLFC offering guest of honour slots at your con with a bunch of people. He was like, hey, you want a guest of honour? I can get you a guest of honour slot. Who was doing that? And that was not authorised by any sort of staff of mine. I wish I knew. They were talking to blank, and blank came up to me and asked if I knew about your con. Yeah, that is a problem. Yeah, not sure who it was. Okay, well thank you for your approach on this. I understand that you have stuff planned, so if you change your mind, just message me. Oh, by the way, thanks for that. And might I just add before, this person, these 2 people were actually advertised as guest of honours after they declined it. So the con, even after being declined from and not having them attend as guest of honours, they then advertised them as guest of honours to entice more people to come. I'm pretty sure that's illegal. In any sort of business term, I'm pretty sure that's illegal. That's false marketing. I had the chance to speak with 2 previous employees at the con who were actually heavily involved. These 2 employees gave me a letter that they wrote together. The letter speaks about how there was no structure in the management and that they had to stand back due to school obligations. Something else they were worried about was that the con wouldn't actually go on through the weekend due to their extreme debt. They also speak about someone we'll call Big Dave harassing them constantly and wishing to become a manager over them, since these two employees had basically been running around the convention by themselves. They were unqualified and out of their depths, as they were being labelled as. One of the employees who we were speaking about, it was actually of Jewish descent and was berated for his religion and called slurs. When it was called out on Twitter, they threatened legal action, as everyone does, but there was no ground for them to stand on. Here's a little metaphor to speak about. The convention is a bridge, and those employees were the unofficial support beams holding it all up. People within the con then turned and kicked it out from under them. And what happens when there's no support under the bridge? The same employees who were going out of their way to work on the con was now being labelled as power-hungry dictators. So the basic experience of these 2 is that they worked their fucking asses off for nothing, only for Big Dave and Nitro to kick back and get rid of them at the end of the day. As well as this, some people on the board of management managed to have ties with the alt-right community of furries. Yes, I'm not even kidding about that. The financial mishaps begun before the con even started. Nitro began taking investments from people. Another thing allegedly Nitro did was handling registration for a small con. Now, no biggie, but Nitro was managing the funds and refunds at a small con and began siphoning funds from the smaller con to help pay for CCFC. This began amounting to the debt he had to invest already and began taking investments for further people. Some of these investments have been large and a lot of people have lost unfathomable amounts of money because of this person. Nitro made promises. Someone even invested over 12k but luckily was able to get it refunded. This is Nitro's biggest debt so far in his portfolio. Nitro basically kept getting more and more investments to then create more and more debt just to keep his con accessible. Some things that the convention did was offer free rooms and free flights to guests of honours. Don't attack the guests of honour for this, it wasn't actually their fault. He'd offer free shit to guests of honours when basic convention infrastructure wasn't developed, and by the time they wished to develop those infrastructures, there was no money left for anyone to actually work with. Plus, Nitro completely misadvertised the entire convention, and yes, the entire convention. He promoted the convention to poppy furs and on Twitter, but never contacted or advertised in the local Pennsylvania furry community. He thought if we get enough poppy furs to promote con, we'd be able to pull in large crowds, which really just isn't the case. That's like a business that makes bread in Ireland only advertising in India. They waste much more resources by only advertising in there and yield less profits. Nitro also allegedly has 2 civil suits over debts that need to be paid back, so it really doesn't speak well when this has happened now. Something else Nitro done was attempting to kill the heat surrounding him by showing that he did in fact donate to charity, the ALS Foundation. How nice of him. He donated over $200 on a very peculiar email. When finally word got out, the representative who owned the email spoke out saying that they did not wish for Nitro to have their hands on the money. Someone else has also created a spreadsheet for charities that have received money from the convention. It is marked down that over $4,000 had gone to the ALS. There is no receipt or no proof that $4,000 ever went to the ALS Foundation of Pennsylvania. Instead, we must assume that it has been pocketed by Nitro or used to pay back the wave of debt he was now drowning in. Many people have told the story and of how the convention was nearly going to be shut down midway through because the convention didn't have enough money when the hotel requested it. This is when Shadow legitimately, like Atlas, took the entire con's fees on his shoulders by letting them use his credit card. Nitro luckily did refund Shadow his money. There was also a lot of different stuff, like ABC27 also did a video kind of showcasing what the con had to offer, and we could see more of what it looked like. Let's take a look.
So, Capital City Furcon is a new convention, furry convention in the city of Harrisburg. What it is, essentially, is just people who have a love for art, music, and community. And what they do is they create these personas, these identities that represent them. And the personas are all unique to each individual. What's really cool about the fandom, and specifically how it kind of created, is that it's not like Pokemon, it's not like Yu-Gi-Oh!, it's not like anime or Comic-Cons. We don't have necessarily a backstory, but what we do have is that this fandom kind of created for people who wanted something that represented them and kind of organized itself into something much bigger than what it is.
The best way I can describe it is it's like a block of clay, and you can take pieces from that clay and make your own thing.
You know, we may be a little quirky, we may be a little bit nerdy, but we're no different than any major club that just wants to get together and have fun.
I must say there were a lot of loose ends coming out of this video, and a lot of people coming out of the woodwork to help us, that I couldn't fit all in this video, and I thought this would be the end of the story. But I was wrong.